Well, hello everyone and welcome to another short video today. It's about my 128D Commodore machine, which actually was there in the closet for about 10 years or more, waiting for the time to come to get its keyboard back. And this time finally has come. Last weekend I spent out a few hours down at the flea market, and I found this, which is an extremely filthy and dirty keyboard for the 128D, but it caught my eye immediately and I bought it without any second thoughts. It is pretty common for people like me looking for this keyboard because this is the missing keyboard effect over this machine, and it's because of its special 25-pin connector that makes it that special. So you cannot use any other modified PC keyboard or anything from any other Commodore computer or anything, or even it's not easy even to modify this. So I've been looking for so long for this one. I saw immediately that there are no keys missing, and I'm pretty sure, since it is a mechanical type of keyboard, that I can give it some good clean inside and out, especially underneath the keys over the contacts. Check the cables that run through this 25-pin connector and go inside the keyboard, and probably we can make it today. It comes as no surprise, but the bottom part of the case, the bottom part of the keyboard, is the same filthy condition with scratches and everything. No rubber feet whatsoever. I wouldn't expect to find any rubber feet around here over the screws, but I think it's not cracked or anything, so I should be thankful. I'm gonna try to do something and clean it as good as I can, and the appearance and the way it looks is the least I can think of right now. So all I want to do now is to check the connections, and then I can wash the plastics and be done with it in no time. So let's get on and remove the screws and see what is happening inside. And I'm going to put the plastics under the shower and see what can we do to bring them back to whatever close to original color we can. And as for Retrobrighting this thing, well, I'm not a big fan of Retrobright, to be honest, because I want it to be naturally old, if you know what I mean, and it will be matching the rest of the computer if I can make it right. So no Retrobright at this point. What I care about is its operation. And the second thing is that I've read somewhere about it and watched a couple of videos, is that Retrobrighting is something you can apply and it can last for a couple of years, and then you have to retrobright it again. But I really think that aging is appreciated over retro equipment and devices, and of course that's the way I see it, so it's up to you guys. The good thing, now back to our bottom part of the keyboard, is the sticky tape that used to hold there the rubber feet. Looks like has never been removed before, which is a good thing. So nobody tried to open the keyboard before. And under the sticky tape you can see the natural color of the case, the way it used to be. So I'm removing these sticky things, and I'm going to find a way to put new feet in the near future, but for now, sticking back to the operation of the keyboard. Like I said, what I care about now is to make it work. And I guess another thing worth mentioning here is that as I have been looking for this keyboard only over eBay for several years now, the prices, if I can say are ridiculously high, just because everybody knows that 128D owners might face the same problem, so missing keyboard effect again. And yeah, the prices are too high for me. And as anticipated, we can find particles, dust, hair and dirt from the previous owner from 1985. I guess it's a natural thing after all these years inside the case. Now these things can hardly damage your computer or your keyboard, but at this point I'm pretty sure they have something to do with malfunction of the keyboard itself, because dust can cover the contact points of the keys, and so the keys can make no contact anymore. So let's go ahead and take a look at the board, which is based around the key matrix principle, which is a good thing because you do not have to mess around with membranes and fragile material like membranes at all. The only thing we should do is to take care of 3 bistable switches, along with some screws, of course, we have to remove in order to get onto the other side and start cleaning the contacts underneath the keys. And I can't stop staring at the inside part of the case, the original color, the way it used to be, like this one. I wish I could make it the outside part look as good as the inside part. Let's see how this goes. And now next step is to remove the keys that hold the PCB together with the case. One thing to mention here is that the keyboard is made by Mitsumi, the greatest, if you ask me, manufacturer back in the day. So the Commodore guys have picked Mitsumi to make the keyboard for the 128D, as well as the Amigas back in the 80s. Mitsumi Japan was a great manufacturer. I don't know if they are still around. Next thing to do is to check the cables, and by the looks of it, it's in this area is intact. Nothing is cut or loose or something. But the best way to check this is from the other side of the keyboard where the soldering points are. So this is what we'll do. But before we can flip the keyboard over, we need to desolder carefully the 3 bistate switches. It's one for shift lock, it's one for capitals lock, and one for selecting 40 or 80 columns mode. And this is a great chance, if you haven't done that, or if you haven't downloaded already the manual for 128 or 128D computer, it's good to download the manual. I'm going to put some links down in the description area, so you know exactly how the matrix around the keys works and what has to be connected, so you know what to check for if something goes wrong with your keyboard in the future. It's always nice to have the keyboard matrix as part of the original manual, the owner's or service manual. And so the next step, as we have the keyboard flipped over, the PCB is flipped over now, I am applying some isopropyl alcohol, and we need to go ahead and clean the contacts. Those are the actual contacts for every key pressed, so they can identify, they can detect, and they can send the signal back to the computer controller, and so they know the computer knows which key was pressed. So you can see there is a lot of dust and dirt around the key contacts, the points. So you have to be patient with this and clean thoroughly the whole PCB with isopropyl alcohol, like I said, not some other kind of chemical. This is my suggestion. But also another interesting and very important point here is to look for a cold joint, which is natural, might happen because we're talking about 40-year-old equipment here. So you have to reball or refresh the soldering points with some fresh, applying some fresh solder over the existing ones, and that will be all. The critical thing again is this, and of course to be able to clean the contacts for each and every key. Be patient and try not to leave any marks or particles or remains from the Q-tip or anything. Just make it perfectly clean so that the key is going to be working absolutely fine. So testing time, this is my favorite part. I left the keyboard as is without the case just because I might need to go back and do the cleaning again. So the connector is on the right side of the computer, and let's see if we have responsive keys indeed. And yeah, I think we made it. So we have shift characters, capital, plain characters. Alright, looks like it's working. I'm gonna try to load a game now and see if I can do it. And apparently the drive works fine. I managed to type in the appropriate commands, so we have a game loaded, and I do believe I do deserve some reward, some gameplay tonight. Everything is fine, and the looks of the keyboard looks also fine, matching the computer. Not shiny and new, but quite good. So now that I have the whole setup ready and complete with a CRT monitor and everything, maybe I think I should have another video soon for getting inside the computer and take a look around the motherboard and the operations and the hardware. So I'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, and bye for now.